Hello and welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita. I am very happy to have today's guest joining the conversation. I have the beautiful Miss Fab joining us. And when I tell you some of the things that she has gone through and accomplished is just so inspiring. So I am definitely excited about today's conversation. Let's get right on into it. Welcome, Fab, to the conversation.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I always like to have everybody kind of do their own, introduction because I feel like I really want you to be passionate about telling the things that you do. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you told the audience, my name is Fab. It's short for Fabiola Constant. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 5. Although
Wow.
God is holding one for me, but I'm still a mother of 5, currently 4 on earth. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a boutique owner by the name of Constant 𝘍𝘰𝘄𝑡𝑡𝑒. I'm an author who recently published 2 books that's for my son, in my son's honor. The title is My Beautiful Storm, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 3 soon come.
Yes.
I'm also an event coordinator. I put in a lot of events and so forth in South Florida. I'm very well known for that. I'm also an activist for bereaved mom because I'm also a bereaved mom myself. And I do a lot with the community. I give back a lot. I do a quarterly feeding that we call the Love Brunch, that we go out in our community and feed the homeless. Although I do it on a regular basis, but the quarterly one is the one that I invite all the community to actually come out and help and do the things that I do so they can see everything that goes into it also as well. I'm also a pageant queen for Miss Runway competition. I'm first runner up.
Yes, ma'am. Love it. And now you see why I wanted her to say it, because I didn't want to just read through that. I wanted her to share exactly all the amazing things that you are doing in the community. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Recently, Ted from CBS Channel 4 covered our last brunch, which was Christmas morning. He covered the entire feeding. So that was amazing. To God be the glory.
Yes. Wow. And I love it. I mean, a mover, shaker, just doing things and even going through your own grief and everything, which I'm sure we'll probably touch on as we talk about these pivotal moments. So let's get into it. So, which pivotal moment do you want to share in today's conversation?
Well, the one that I want to share, that's the most important to me, that actually changed my life, would be when my son transitioned to be with the Lord. That was 2017. We was at a family, it was 4th of July weekend. We was at a family pool party. You know how 4th of July, everybody is having fun and so forth. And it happened to also be my mom's birthday also as well. And accidentally, long story short, my son ended up drowning. Rushing to the hospital, we get to the hospital. He was still there. We praying within 24 hours. By the time January 5th hit, God said it was time. So God told me he was going to hold him for me. So that was the pivot moment. At that time, my entire life changed. Everything that I know I love was at a halt. And then it was like everything, God was just moving me from there. I had no idea how I was even able to function because I went through all the different grief stages and so forth. But my faith that I have in the Lord carried me through so much, where I wasn't your typical bereaved mom where I grieved a lot or where I was stuck at one particular stage for a long period of time. Reason being, God actually held my hand the entire time. That's why my book titled My Beautiful Storm. So through the whole storm, God actually had my hand. He made sure I had a strong family support, friend support. My sister left, my sister don't live down here. She lived in North Carolina, stayed with me. My cousin lived in Atlanta. She came and stayed with me. Wow. My other cousin that lives down here in Florida left her husband and was with me all the time. So when I tell you, God made sure I had strong family members, strong support system. And that's why when I talk to my bereaved mom and other people that I meet, and I explain to them the importance of having a strong system, because it is a difficult process. It's a difficult process. Some, some is still struggling to even get by. So I understand. But again, like I said, mine is kind of unique because the way God held my hand, and also during my process, he was having me heal other people while I was in my own storm. Wow. And I wasn't even healed yet, but he was using me as a vessel to heal other bereaved moms. And that's how my nonprofit started. Without me, it was nothing. That's why I tell people it's not me. A lot of time when they say, I said, no, it's God. God created all of this. God guided me through all of this. So even in my storm, he was guiding me to help bereaved mom. So my nonprofit is for bereaved mom. That's why I have a support group that caters to bereaved mom on a daily basis.
Wow. Well, first of all, let me express, my sorrow for, you having a loss, but also just to say the strength that you have, and that you pulled through it, and you were able to use this terrible situation to actually build yourself up and others, and of course your faith carrying you through it. But I think even those who are watching this, obviously people who watch this come from various different backgrounds of faith and belief and all of that. But I think the common thing that they can really pull from this is the things you mentioned, the family support, not isolating yourself, really relying on your network, your team, your family, whomever that is. I think that's really such a message that people can pull from this. Whatever your faith background is, you can pull those pieces from there. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Of course. That was really the very important part of my grieving process, because even when I blinked out the hospital, by the time I left the hospital, when God actually took my son, at that time, and said, okay, I'm holding Lou for you. And by the time I left the hospital to come to my house, I totally blinked out. When I say blinked out, meaning that I completely forgot what happened. By the time I got home, it was as if nothing happened. So when I tell you I had one of those mental episode moments, completely blinked out. So it was like, my mom, I get home, my mom and my cousin, like I told you, they left her husband to be with me. They was like looking at me like, oh my gosh, she really don't remember what happened. So it's like, they didn't want to have to tell me again, because it's like, they was afraid of me having to relive that hurt, that pain. But by the time they played it off, by the time my husband got home, my husband was like, no, she needs to know, we got to he was like the tough one, which I love him dearly for that, because without him, this process wouldn't have been that smooth also as well. Both of us and our pastor, and like I said, my faith in the Lord, my pastor was always there for us too, to mentor or to counsel us. And of course, group therapy, daily therapy. I know a lot of people, sway away from that, but for me, if you ever speak to me, I will always recommend therapy.
Me too.
Regardless if you have faith in the Lord, whatever your religion background might be, but therapy is very important.
I agree. Wow.
Therapeutic.
Yes. So, wow. Well, as we, move through the conversation and talking about this pivotal moment, we always come to the part where we talk about the lesson learned, right? The thing that you learned or found that was of central importance to you as you made this pivot. So what can you say that you learned from this is that one central thing, that unchangeable thing that really causes you to make this pivot? What would you say you learned that is?
I would say actually really letting go and letting God. Because a lot of time we always tend to say, let go, let God. And when we're in these type of situation, given my situation at that time, believe it or not, honestly speaking, a lot of people, regardless of their faith and their religion, that's when it goes left. Let's be honest with each other. That's when it really go left, because then they started questioning God. They start cursing God. Not that I didn't. I did too. So again, I'm going to be honest and straightforward with you. I did. I fussed God out. But at the same time, I allowed him to take over. Although I was yelling, screaming, and mad and so forth and so on. But I was like, God, if it's your will, your way, please give me strength. Help me through it. Like I said, I'm a mother of 5. I still have 4 more kids. Give me strength for the other 4.
Yeah.
Help me to get through this. So it was the letting go and letting God.
Wow. I so appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Now, when we talk about, so shifting gears a little bit, we talk about adjustments. So, with pivoting, that kind of circles around that why, that thing of importance, but adjusting can take on that different tone because it really is about adapting to uncomfortable circumstances, sometimes things that aren't favorable. So, in this, what would you like to share about the adjustment? Where did you have to make the adjustment?
The adjustment was within my own household.
Mm.
Because at that time, another thing that I haven't really shared yet, well, with you, was that I had just given birth to a 1 month old. So my fifth child at the time, when my when my son Lou transitioned to be with God, he was only 1 month old. So I was a brand new mom again, going through, postpartum and so forth and so on. When I tell you, it was like a double whammy for me. God taking one, God giving me one. Now I'm breastfeeding. Now my whole body is on shutdown mode. I can't breastfeed no more, no matter what I did, because mentally, my mind, everything was like completely gone. So I couldn't breastfeed my 1 month old. So now I'm also feeling like I'm not, like I'm a failure. Like I'm not a good mom. Like I'm not doing the right thing because I'm unable to breastfeed my child that I was able to breastfeed a month prior to it, prior to my other son transitioning.
Yeah.
And then it was like me being afraid to love him now, because now mentally I'm scared, like, okay, is he's going to transition to, what's going to happen, and not wanting to, be attached too much to him because of the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say it's very important to actually have to let go and let God, but, the wonderful thing about all of this process is me letting go and letting God, I'm able to love again. I'm able to love him without fear. I'm able to actually be his mom. I'm able to be my other 4 children mom without fear, without feeling that I'm a failure or I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And actually letting God guide my family, my household, as he healed me, to heal other people, to show other people there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope. As long as you allow me to move you, there's hope. You don't have to give up on your dreams. You don't have to give up on your family. You don't have to give up on yourself, most importantly. Because if you're no good to yourself, how are you going to be good to others?
Wow. Wow. Well, Fab, as we, kind of come to the end of the conversation, you've shared so much. And again, I just have to say, I appreciate your transparency and your vulnerability in this conversation. What would you like to leave the viewers with? What nuggets do you want to leave directly with them? Anything that you want to share that maybe you haven't mentioned so far?
Well, I would like to leave with the viewer, the nugget I would like to leave is pretty much, whatever you're going through, whatever your circumstances you're going through, know that you're not alone. Because a lot of time we always feel and think, because of whatever we're going through at the moment, that it's just us. We're the only one experiencing this. We're the only one that knows about that. No, you're not alone. Trust me. As a bereaved mom, as a grieving mom, just as a mom period that went through other life situation, you are not alone. You are not alone. And majority of the time, if you lean on God, and like it says, lean onto him and not to your own understanding, things will work itself out. You just have to be still. You just have to be patient. So I would just say, just know that you're not alone.
Wow.
You're not
Beautiful. Beautiful. Once again, I just have to say thank you. I'm in a very special seat because I get to sit here and have these conversations with amazing people like yourself, strong people, and just really learn and appreciate and be strengthened from the people that I meet. So you are definitely a person where I admire your faith and your perspective, and just the way that you have been able to pull through this, what was a terrible situation to go through, losing a child. And not only have you survived it, but you are taking this experience and you are helping other people, helping other parents, helping other women, doing things for the community. So I applaud you, and I'm just so honored to actually be able to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And before we leave, where can everybody get your books? Go ahead and shout out where they where they can get your books and any of the other amazing things that you're doing.
Well, both books are currently live on Amazon. All you have to do is just type "My Beautiful Storm," and that's what I call Lou now. My child that God is holding for me. So the title of the book is for him. It's called "My Beautiful Storm," Volume 1, and that's pretty much a book that consists of like a book journal, similar to Michelle Obama, our very first lady.
Hey.
It also has like some poetry when I was going through my grieving process that I've never shared with anyone. So it has some poems in there. And everything I do always start with prayer. So each day you will see a prayer, that you'll see a poem, you'll see some type of acknowledgement, and then it gives you some freelance where you can write. So it's a journal book guide for Volume 1. And Volume 2 is a 21-day guide to a new you, where I pretty much show you how to release bad habits and create new habits. So therefore you can find that really inner you to be the better you that you can be. So the second book is the 21-day guide to a new you. Again, it has prayers in there also as well.
Hey.
On Amazon, all you got to do is just type "My Beautiful Storm." It's going to pop right up. Or you can put "My Beautiful Storm Volume 1 or Volume 2 or just "My Beautiful Storm." It'll come up. I'm also on social media. My nonprofit organization is under my son. So it's called 𝘍𝘠𝘣𝘪𝘰𝘭𝘢 Inc. So it's on all social media platform, 𝘍𝘠𝘣𝘪𝘰𝘭𝘢 Foundation Inc., Instagram, Facebook. If you wanted to, if you know somebody that's a bereaved mom that's looking for that support group that I mentioned earlier, all they have to do, even on Facebook, 𝘍𝘠𝘣𝘪𝘰𝘭𝘢 Foundation Inc., Be Moms. Be Moms. And it's short for bereaved moms. So that's the word that God gave me to use instead of saying bereaved mom. So we always use the word be mom. So even if they search me right now for Facebook, it'll say Fabiola Richardson, and my cover sheet right now, it shows our flyer for our quarterly feeding, which is March 21st. It says Be Moms Helping Hand Love Brunch. And that's for the homeless feeding that we do quarterly.
Wow. Awesome. And those things should be scrolling at various points during this. So yes, well, everyone definitely make sure you follow the Fab, who is fabulous. Follow her, follow those links. Definitely want to, support you and all the things that you're doing. And once again, to those watching, I appreciate you tuning in, watching these shows, the feedback I get, how you're inspired and encouraged. And I'm sure, no doubt, that this is yet another very inspirational show for you. So definitely, I appreciate you tuning in. Continue to watch these pivotal moments shows so that we can just continue spreading the love and the encouragement and the motivation. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time on another episode of Pivotal Moments with 𝘍𝘠𝘢.